Go for it. Okay, cool. So I was just explaining to everyone, we'll kind of back up just a little bit. Whether you're brand new in the business or you've been in for a while, it's really important to learn how to maximize your promotions, your paychecks, and your earnings, because whether you're doing a little bit or a lot, you might as well learn to make the most of that time that you are putting into this business. So that's why we want to back up and just talk about the basics of the difference between points and promotions and PB. And right before you hopped on, I did a little poll and I said, how many of us have ever been confused about what PB is or POV or points or qualification? And all the hands went up. So it's just really important to get back to those basics. So I was talking about the first two promotions. So HLP and VF or 2000 plus, those are really focused on points, and points come from products. So focusing on, X amount of shred orders per month or trios, but we want to get past that tonight so we can focus on how to really get into the comma club in our businesses and really maximize our time and energy and efforts. So that's when I showed them the money pot for PB. Do you want to go ahead and explain it to them, how you explain it to your team, Em, of starting over? Because we hadn't even gotten there yet, and you just kind of dove right in, so you might as well take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I just love that, so basically some notes that I was taking before this call is my leaders always tell me that this PB, this jackpot business, qualifying your business club, there's a lot of different terms, but it's all capped under that third step in the marketing plan. And it's the most important part of the marketing plan. And I think sometimes it's overlooked because in the beginning, your 5% is just a few dollars, but now I can say that I have a comma in that portion of my paycheck just for my PB. So it's really cool just to see what it can build into, and 5% on a little bit in the beginning is not a lot, but 5% on a lot of things once you grow wide and deep is a lot of money. So I just love that this is where you can truly tap into a whole nother feature of wealth in the marketing plan. So the best way I can describe it to my girls and guys is really every single month when we have our customers, their card gets charged to Juice Plus, you think about a big pot. So Emily just drew it out, but if you think about a big pot, a big pot, and it's empty. At the beginning of every single month, it's completely empty. But when we start to build a customer base or our own order as well, anytime any of our customers gets charged on their card. So I kind of think of it as a swipe system. As soon as our customer's card gets swiped and those points go through, the card's not in decline, the card's good to go, those points are put into the pot. And so depending on what the order is and what the installment is, that pot's going to build up. And our goal is obviously 1,000 points is the jackpot business. So people get a little bit confused and they're like, well, then it zeroes out the next month. Well, that's all the more reason why you want your customers to be on installments, because then it stays consistent and you get phone calls. So it stays consistent. And that's why we encourage everyone to have a 24 trio customer base, or if you break it down into shredders, it's half of that, because then every single month you're residually getting those points swiped and you'll be at a jackpot business. So I always think of, you reset at the end of the month, but then your cards are going to start getting swiped. So that's also why it's important to check for declines and make sure all of your customers' cards are going through, because if the company's not getting paid on it, we're not getting paid on it. So that's always important, just to check the status of that. Was that clear enough, Em?
Yeah, that's perfect. So I love that analogy of just having this big open pot at the beginning of every single month. And you know that, let's say on the 24th of the month, you placed your own trio order last month. So on the 24th of May, you got some points and some money dropped into that pot, and that order is on installments. So on the 24th of June, you get the same amount of points, the same amount of money. Same thing in July, same thing in August, because it's that installments. So you can imagine as you start to build a customer base and everybody's on installments, you've got money dropping into that pot every single day of the month. At the end of the month, we get that extra bonus put into our paycheck. So when we're talking about this is an entirely different portion of the paycheck. We get retail sales profit, which we've all talked about. We get our commissions. This is that third part of the bonus of how we get paid. This is that third piece, is through this bonus pot. So I think it's really important to look at, because like Em said, in the very beginning, this is the smallest or maybe non-existent part of your paycheck. But when you hit VF and you start to build, this quickly becomes the largest part of your paycheck. And I know Emily and I can both say that we have a comma in just this portion of our paycheck alone, which has grown pretty quickly because of how to duplicate, which we're going to talk about. So where do these 1,000 points come from? We're talking about 1,000. We always want to add up to 1,000, and you'll probably get messages from Beth, our national marketing director, or myself, or whoever your leadership team may be, Emily, Danielle, saying, hey, you're X amount of points away from a qualified business or a jackpot business. When we're reaching out to you, that's to help you build your business and maximize your paycheck. So if you get a message that says, hey, you're only 400 points away, it's going to make a big difference, short-term and long-term, to make sure that you get there. So how do you do it? Where do those points come from? They come from yourself. So any of your personal orders, any of your customer orders, they all come from that. They also come from anyone on your team underneath you who is an HLP, so they've got their first promotion, or they haven't quite hit that promotion yet. They're just a happy customer. Maybe they're in this just for a little extra kickback on their own orders, or maybe they're brand new and they haven't hit their promotion yet. So those 1,000 points can come from you, any of your HLPs or people who are working towards VF but haven't hit it yet, anyone who's brand new and hasn't quite hit an HLP yet. So you've got a lot of room to work and a lot of room to grow. And as you guys know, we can bring in an unlimited amount of people into this business. And so you could easily be qualified within the first day or two of the month if you bring on enough people who are all working together. So my point being with all of this is your 1,000 points don't have to just come from you hustling and trying to get customers at the very end of every single month. This comes as you continue to just build that team every single month, adding 1 or 2 new customers, 1 or 2 new team members. If you're going for bigger promotions, obviously you know that those numbers are bigger. But it's just really important to note that you don't have to do this alone. That's what the power of team is for. And it can happen so quickly. Once you really start to get the flow of this, you are definitely qualified pretty much at the very beginning of the month. So those 1,000 points are very, very easy to accumulate. So DD and HLP count towards this. Just, yes, both, Erin. So those 1,000 points come from anything who has not hit a VF yet. Anyone who has not hit their 2,000 points yet. Good question. So there's really 2 steps into getting started with this. Step 1 is to obviously get yourself into that PB qualified business. I think that's huge. So when you hit your VF second promotion, this is what's in store for you that following month. You get to start earning in the 3rd possible way with our business. So when your leadership team is working with you towards quickly hitting that second promotion within your first month, those first 30 to 60 days, it's so you can start earning in that 3rd way, because this is all just in addition to those first 2 ways that we get paid. So step 1 is getting yourself into that PB qualified business. Step number 2 is bringing on team and teaching them to do what you just did. It's as simple as that. I love the whole method of watch and then do and then teach, because I can't teach something I haven't done before. And Emily can't jump on this call and teach something that she hasn't done before. But we've been in your shoes and we know what it's like to build this team and to build to a point where we are looking at a comma in just this portion of our paycheck alone, which is exciting. And that's what we want to be able to share with everybody else. So do you have anything you want to share about like building a team and teaching them how to do the same thing, duplicating?
Yeah, I was actually just tweaking up a couple of things that I wanted to share my screen with. That I just think like I'm a visual person just like you are, Em. So I always share this image with my team. Tell me if you all can see my screen. You guys see it?
Yeah, love it.
This is the image that I share, and this is on the mission-driven model too. And if anyone is a 3 club or higher, you guys can probably attest that this is a very low average for paychecks, but it's minimum, which is cool because we love to under promise and over deliver, right? So I just love this image because it really just shows just how awesome it is just to really duplicate that. And we can kind of go into specific ways to duplicate. But I'm pretty sure you guys have it down pat. It's called 3-way calls because even when you're brand new in this, or even when you're growing, I've been in this for 4 years and I still have to connect my people on 3-way calls. But anyways, I love to show this simple picture because it really shows the jackpot biz, what it looks like, and then how it can expand into like an income. But like I said, this is a really like low average, kind of crazy when I see just, you know, the difference. But I actually am working on something that I want to share tonight is, and I have to read off these notes because I'm still kind of learning it myself, but it made complete sense. And it kind of helped me shift my mindset into the promotions, all of these steps in the marketing plan, going to QNMD, going to NMD, even going to SSC. Those are all just milestones along the way. But really what we need to start focusing on is these club levels and having like duplicating these jackpot businesses, because if we can duplicate these jackpot businesses wide and deep, the promotions are going to come, the paycheck's going to come, and it's going to be more stable and more lasting. So some statistics that were shared, and this is from some Aussies that are absolutely killing it. Adam Westwick, funny story, Adam Westwick is now, I don't even know, 1,000 club, 500 club, like so many clubs. And he was at his first conference, at my first conference, and I was a VF and he was a DD. And I always like, all I have to do is laugh and just remind myself that everyone's journey looks different, but I'm going to learn from him because he's obviously doing something right. So what they teach their people over in Australia, and it's slowly coming over to America. And I think that if anyone can start the movement here, it's the ladies on this call, because we're literally changing, we're like paving the way for millennials and paving the way for like what these rising millennial teams look like. And so I'm telling you guys this, and I'm sharing these statistics with you guys because I feel like we can truly start the new norm. And so really what they do is, like Emily said, obviously everyone's goal is to bare minimum help everyone get to VF, because if they're going to get over $400 in bonuses in their first 30 to 60 days, most likely they'll stick around. Not everyone does, but it's more a greater chance, right? So obviously get them to VF. But then once they hit VF, that's kind of when, and I'm sure some of you guys can attest to this, if you just hit your 2000 plus or your, you know, maybe it was recent, you kind of get to take a big deep breath and just be like, okay, I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing now. I kind of feel like I can go lead a team. I'm kind of attracting people who want to do this with me. And so this is when we get really clear with people and really asking them what they want. Because I feel like at that point they can kind of get a grasp on like what's possible, and maybe they're just starting out, but get them to somehow put a number around what they want to make with it and why they want to make it. We all know we need a why. Your why should make you cry. It will drive you on the hard days, on the good days. But really get clear on what they want, because from there you can correlate what they want to make with a club level. So that image that I just shared with you, you can now take what they want to make. If someone says, I want to comma club business, I want an extra $1,000 for a month for XYZ, you can say, okay, well, I need to help you. I'm going to pull this back up so you guys can see. You're going to say, okay, well, I need to help you create, you know, I need to help you duplicate this business with at least 3 people and help 3 people create a jackpot business. Can you guys see this? Okay, just want to make sure. So that's really cool, because for me, I always take, when someone tells me how much they want to make, I used to get kind of hung up. I'm like, okay, well, you need to hit NMD ASAP, but it's really like, to break it down, duplication pot businesses. So from there, I'm going to tell you guys some statistics. If you guys want to write them down, feel free. But what they share over in Australia is every 1 of 5 people is going to grow. So on average, every 1 of 5 people is going to build a business of 3 club or more. So they only focus on 3 clubs. Anything more of a 3 club, they kind of just count as bonuses. So if you're building a brand new line and they say they want to build a 3 club, obviously maybe they'll turn into a 24 club, but in the beginning, they really just focus on the 3 club bare minimum. And then obviously they teach them to go wide. So for example, if someone wants to be an 8 club, they teach that you need to help 2 frontline people be a 3 club, have a 3 club business. So if that makes sense, I am working on making a visual for this because I feel like it would break it down a lot easier. But so if you think about your 2 frontline people, they both have a qualified business, and then they have 3 people under them with a qualified business. So that's 8 altogether, and that's a strong 8 club. So basically it says if you want 2 frontline people to hit 3 club, you'll have to frontline about 10, because only 1 of 5 is going to want to build that 3 club. Can anyone on this call, like, I feel like Bailey, Emily, some people who've been frontlining like crazy, can you guys attest to that? Like, I have frontlined so many people, and it's, everyone wants something different. Maybe some people just want to get paid back on their product and get an HLP. Maybe some people even hit their 2000 plus, and for whatever reason life happens. So we know that it's a numbers game, and we know that it's not fun pulling teeth with people who aren't on fire to work this. So I love that it gives like true statistics as far as like every 1 of 5, and maybe you'll get a couple more than just 1 if you frontline 5, but to really go strong, they always teach you're really going to have to talk to a lot of people and create a lot of conversations to build a 3 club leg, and that's just 1. So that opened up my eyes about like, okay, I really need to be talking to a lot more people. I can't just rely on what I have now to build this. Our next goal for our team is 24 club. I need to be going wide. So my brain immediately shifted to, I need to have 6 frontline 3 clubs to be a 24 club. So that's also what they teach. And so I wrote down 24 club looks like creating 6 frontline 3 clubs. I know there's a lot of verbiage in this, but they say that after 24, it will kind of start to grow and duplicate in different ways. But if we can start focusing on helping people create a 3 club business, if someone wants to tell you they want to build this business even on the side, but they need an income from this and they can't work this full time, they can absolutely for sure build a 3 club business. My mom has a 3 club. A lot of part-time JPers on my team have 3 club businesses. And like I said, they work this part-time. So I just think that's really cool. Like, once you kind of like break it down into duplicating the jackpot business of what Emily was saying, it all comes back down to duplication. But we can't just duplicate all these promotions. We actually have to duplicate success and have a track record, because when someone has a qualified business and someone's getting that residual income, like paycheck each month, chances are they're going to stick around, and chances are we're going to help them duplicate that and turn around and help someone do the same thing. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that. I'm in the midst of creating an image to kind of match the last one I sent you, to kind of go over some of those statistics. But I just love how it's like shifted my mindset to like really focus on club levels, and the promotions are going to come. They're just milestones in this business. Just to give you guys a little bit of insight, Linda Eviden, she's in Australia. She said that there are sales coordinators in her organization in Australia that were making, I mean, an insane amount of money. I'm pretty sure, like she said, $5,000 to $6,000 a month. She said NMDs they're going into NMD with $20,000 paychecks, and it's because they've created duplication, and it's stable. It's lasting. It's not just, they're not just faking it. They're actually building businesses, and their paychecks have completely exploded and obviously surpassed US because they're doing it the right way. They're not focusing on the promotion. They're focusing on the duplication of the qualified businesses. So
I love that. That's so awesome. And it's so cool to hear that this is working for someone else. And just like the system we're talking about, it's working for them. So we're learning it, and then we're doing it, and then we're teaching it over here, because Australia has totally paved the way for just simplicity, I think. I know I get so wrapped up myself with how do I become a 100 Club National Marketing Director? And that seems like such a big goal, and it is. But when you break it down to, okay, how many frontline do I need? And how can I teach them to be successful? And how can that total up to 100? My mind loves that, and it makes it so much easier for me to take that information and know what to do and then run with it from there. So I think hearing all of this, you know, there's some action steps that need to happen, right? We can listen to this, we can take notes, we can get excited about building a jackpot business and going out and teaching a team. But I think the main action step that we all need to focus on is our activity levels. So what are we doing? Are we doing 3-way calls? Are we inviting to Zoom events? Are we inviting to live events? I know a ton of you on today, Brett, Bailey, Aaron, who else? Sarah, so many of you had pop-up boot camps and yoga, bend and blend today. That's awesome. That's what we're talking about. These live events, getting people butts in seats, listening to our community. What are we all about? What are we doing that's so different from everybody else? That's what we need to be doing. So three-way calls, live events, and inviting. Because the truth of the matter is we can't control the outcome. We can't control other people's thoughts and decisions, but we can control our activity levels. So what are we doing every day to build into these events? What are we doing to make sure that they're actually happening? And it's really cool to see that our teams are all taking charge of that in the US. We've all been noted. Corporate knows they've got an eye on Emily's business and Danielle's business and our business together because we're doing these things. But I think that there's definitely room to really take full control and just run with this in the United States and pave the way for the rest of the US of how we can run businesses successfully here. So action steps, you guys know what you need to do. I think it's important to take a look at your business and say what works really well, what feels really good, what can I do more of that feels good, and then take a look at those things that don't feel so good and have a conversation with your leadership team and maybe decide, do I need to be scheduling my time differently? Do I need to be scheduling my time, period? I know that's a big one for me. If I'm not scheduling when I'm working, I'm not working nearly as much as I want to be. But just utilizing time the most that you possibly can, the most efficiently anyway. Just like Emily said, even if you're working this as a part-time, you can still very easily hit that 3-club business and really take that and run with it and maximize your own personal paycheck. So I love that. Danielle hopped on. She is currently wandering through Australia. I think it's like a crazy time, like 1 o'clock in the morning there or something. Oh, no, right?
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh my, it's not the mess. It's just 10 in the morning, but we had 16 at night, and just like searching for Airbnb. So grateful I was earning this, and I was kind of like listening in as I went along the streets. So cool.
So fun. I love that. Oh my gosh. You're such a boss babe. The travel boss babe right there. If you're not following Danielle and you want to follow Australia, Bali, Fiji, go ahead and follow her on Instagram. Get your FOMO on. So awesome. I love that. Anything else you want to add about anything?
I like another thing. Can you hear me good?
You're breaking up a little bit.
What about now?
Take it away.
I was just going to say, just confirm everything that you guys said and like how promotion book clubs business and paychecks. So if you clubs, you're going to hit promotions anyway. Might as well just focus on, build a strong line and them to where they want to be. And the important thing is one does get that side business. And that should be that we recognize like leading BF is on, but getting a side business is a huge success, and probably that thing that you're big milestone in this.
I think we lost her.
And she gone.
And she's gone. We heard every other word, Danielle. It was fantastic. No, but she's got lots of really, really good insight to that stuff too. And she's been learning so much, which is one of the reasons we wanted to do this call. So we will continue to build on this. And Emily is going to create that graphic, it sounds like, which is great because I'm definitely that visual learner. So with that being said, how many of us want to grow into those jackpot businesses, right? Everybody on this call obviously wants to do that. I don't know why you would want to. So let's go ahead and set the goals. Let's start really visualizing and thinking, what does that look like? How many clubs can I really focus on building through my team? And what are those action steps? What am I going to focus on this week? Plan it out tonight. Make sure you've got things ready to go. You're going to set yourself up for success. And your leadership team is always here to help. In fact, we're more than ready to help. So put us to work on these three-way calls. We're so excited to help you all grow those jackpot businesses and those 3 clubs. All right, guys, have an awesome Sunday night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.